Hello everyone, this is Calico Kate. I'm behind in my journal. As I said I would be when the garden got thick and growing and I was in my flower beds. Yeah, I do have my covers completed. AJ's item of the month, if you watch Allison on AJ's Inspired Life, she has an item each month of things in her craft room she's trying to use up, and everyone who wants to can play along, and it's a lot of fun. And this month is decorative scissors, so we're trying to use decorative scissors each day. Here is my use of decorative scissors for Monday. I have not written in it yet. That's unusual for me too, but that's how it is. Tuesday was a very busy day. The kids helped me. We mulched all my flower beds, and Greg would bring it in the tractor in a bucket, and we put 5-gallon buckets on the plants that we were covering at the time, and he would dump it, then we spread it, then we would move the 5-gallon buckets and spread the mulch all around. Kids were done in, I was done in. It was busy. Emerson and I had checked out the garden. We got that all done. I weeded it for the first time with my new weed eater. There's my decorative scissors. Jackson went home and worked on his woodworking project for the fair. And I don't remember now what he's making. I know he's making like a little cover for the shooting range table. And not sure what else. After we got done, we were just finishing up mulching, and Andy came up to get Jackson, and Emerson says, "I'm going home." But that's okay, because we had picked all kinds of kale and radishes. Yeah, that's a lot of it, isn't it? And I got those cleaned up later in the day. Had 2-gallon bags of, let me put this over here, radishes and kale. Yeah, that was a lot. And then I rested. I rested. I came up here and was going to craft a while, and I was too tired to do that, and decided, whoops, that's upside down, decided to go back downstairs. I thought I was going to have to sit down and go. My legs were tired, especially the back of my legs. And this is all the kale. Going to, more water, isn't it? The nice thing about decorative scissors, just every time you cut, you can use the decorative scissors instead. Yeah. That makes it nice. So, I've not been up here much this week. Monday, Emerson and I went to the pool. Tuesday, we didn't. And, oh, and then I hauled bales of straw to the garden. Yeah, I was just using the muscles. So, Wednesday, yeah, I like that. But I'm going to need some writing space. I'm going to need what? Writing space. I got... These don't need to be super detailed. But I have a lot of little things to write about. So we'll put this little thing. I got it Dollar Tree. And we'll write a little on here. But I can write here. I can write here. I can write here. And let's put some lines there. I'm looking for my cat. There it is. So, needless to say, the next day, I didn't feel like doing a whole lot. I was pooped. I was real glad we didn't have anywhere to go that night. Got it. Let's do this in blue. I don't even know that Greg or I ate any supper. We were that tired. Because all the scoops into the tractor, he did. He scooped it out of the wagon into his tractor. So yeah, he was tired. And I don't know what he ate. I ate a hamburger and popcorn. And then we'll write over here. And if I need lines or something like that later, I'll add it. Then Wednesday, I hurt so bad when Emerson said, let's go to the pool. Nana jumped right on it. So, let's see what we've got for the pool. There we go. I did water everything. It was nice to have that mulch down so when I watered everything, I could I knew that I was going to have that mulch covered and wasn't going to dry out so fast. And so I watered it all, and then I picked her up and we went to the pool. And we got there at 1, and I think I left about 4:30. Nikki came by. Emerson is just big enough now that we feel comfortable that we could leave her by herself. Yes, that's what we do in a little bitty town. People drop their kids off. For some kids, that's their babysitter all day. I don't agree with that. But it's like I was telling a friend of mine that would happen to be sitting beside me. And I said, you know, it's so nice to see these kids. They're not on any technology. They're conversing. They're talking. They are having playtime. They're being active. They're jumping in. They're jumping out. It's so nice to see all that because Use that for my mulch. I've been looking for that. I'll have to find a place on that page or somehow or another to put that. Remember when I was talking about I had those stepping stones that I looked and looked and looked for? Well, I have them, but I don't know if I have any place to put them. So there goes that idea. Okay, they finished up the goat fencing. We had goats kind of squeezing out, so it needed a little support. So the guys did that. I watched Emerson in the pool. I got in a little. It was a little warmer on Wednesday than it was Monday. And then her mom came and I stayed a little while and then I left. They had 4-H that night, so they didn't plan on going home in between. 4-H was at 6. So, we just kind of hung out at the pool. She ate snacks. Oh, when we went, I forgot my hat. I forgot a hair tie. I forgot enough cash. Well, Andy had given Emerson some cash. I had enough to get us in. I'm just going to put forgot. And I really was, you know, sitting out there in the sun. Even if you're not doing anything, you get thirsty. Well, I did have enough. I could get us in. It's $4. If you're just going to lay out by the pool or put your legs in as an adult, they don't charge you. And so I paid for her to get in because I used my cash at Dollar General to get a hat and ponytail holders. Now, I had ponytail holders in my makeup bag in my purse, but I didn't take my purse. And I forgot my phone. Emerson just thought that was all quite the hoot. And as I told Holly, I said, you know, she goes, Nana, do we need to go back and get your phone? I said, oh, honey, no. So it was cute. This is the day Jackson mowed. Jackson mowed in my yard. Yeah, yesterday was a very busy day. And I didn't walk, didn't craft. I just laid at the pool. Okay. Then yesterday, I have lots of stuff for yesterday. I volunteer at our hospital gift shop, and Emerson decided she wanted to go with me. She went once before and wasn't thrilled with it, but this time she did well. She took stuff with her, so she knew. She took some coloring, and she took some scissors, and she took her phone. Don't see anything there. This was for last night. I started a new ball of yarn. These are the tickets. I got a salad. And then she played on the cash register. Yeah, they don't care. And we don't charge tax. The Hospital Auxiliary runs it. And it's a money maker for us. And we man it and everything. And so she just played on the cash register. I thought that was so cute. First she counted all the money. And counted up each denomination, wrote it down, then added it up. And she then cleaned out a couple of drawers that needed tidied up. She looked at stuff. And then she'd go back and look at stuff. She would play store. She would pretend to buy something. And then it's going to be backwards, isn't it? I want it to do this way. She'd pretend to buy something. And so she'd come to the cash. She'd go shop. And then she'd come to the cash register. And then she'd go around. And she'd ring it, ring it up on the cash register. And then, you know, talk to her customer or whatever she was doing. And then go put it away and then buy something else. I want to tell you, we sold nothing. We didn't have a single looker and we didn't have a single customer. She was very disappointed. But some days are like that and some days you have a lot. So, you know, you just got to pick what you're going to have. Now this could be a little pocket. I just think it's pretty. We have a lot of darling stuff. We have, I think I'm going to do this way and then stick those tickets in this way. A lot of the purchasing agent that goes and gets it does a wonderful job of picking out stuff for us. So we have really cute stuff. Emerson ended up buying a little gnome Uncle Sam type little thing that just stands up for $6. Yeah, we try and sell everything pretty cheap. We don't try to going to try and make this side Emerson and I, and this side maybe the play. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But then after we did the gift shop, it's only open from 11 to 2, I'm sorry. And after, and when we're done, we leave it open. And then the ladies at registration will run it, or if the nurses want something, they just leave their money on the counter. And then Elisa, who is our public relations person, office is right there. So if she goes by and she sees it, she'll put it in the, she'll ring it up and put it in the cash register. The only reason that we have to ring it up is to open up the cash register. That's the only reason. I think I'm going to put that there. And then if I need writing space, oh, that might work. No, I don't want to do that. We stopped at Apothecary at the pharmacy, and I ordered a salad, and then they bring it to you free of charge. They don't charge for delivery. And Emerson brought her sack lunch. She loves a sack lunch. She had some pretty good stuff in there too. She had her Lunchable, and then she had some yogurt bites and some good stuff like that. So I was crying. I wanted this brown because it looked old, but it really doesn't match this. But you know what? That's okay. It's my journal. Okay. Then I came home, took Emerson home, and Greg and I went to a musical in town called Dream Big. This is from the book by Stan Straight, Ellicay. We are the home of Ella Ewing, the giantess, the Missouri giantess. And our museum here in town, we have a great museum, has the stuff from her home. We have a pair of her shoes and her bed and some of that kind of stuff. And they sold out. 232 seats. And when they made this, the lady that wrote the book, Stantal Ellicay, used the master's dissertation of one of our former teachers who did her dissertation on that. Now, Ella died in 1913. So there are still people alive who had family members that knew her. Her best friend, Pearl, I'm going to use that, I think, as a writing spot. Yeah, I could move it over. Now, her best friend, Pearl's great-granddaughter, I think it was, and daughter, great-great-granddaughter, I'm not sure. I'm using this red because it goes with that. Were there and had driven quite a ways away. They had driven from Farmington, Missouri. So quite a big deal. She was in sideshows and made so much money in sideshows that she paid off her parents' debts and ended up to be fairly well off for the times that it was. And it was geared to kids. Today, the summer school kids are going, as well as some kids from neighboring summer schools are being bussed over to see it. Our 2 third-grade teachers did lesson plans to share with other schools to go with it. And I know those teachers, their teachers are very good. So I know the lesson plans will be awesome. I think they are just going in Missouri places. I know they did one production down in Springfield, Missouri, and now they're traveling, and we were their first stop traveling. The cast of characters had all been to the museum to see her actual stuff. They were going to the cemetery to see her grave. And they were going to go right to where her house used to be. It's not there anymore. I was hoping there'd be a book that would say, the author of the book was there last night. And so people were able to ask them all questions. And here's a picture from an actual picture. She was 8'4", and the girl who played her once she became an adult, played her on stilts. And I ended up taking tickets as people came in. And it was funny because I said, you know, you're not from a small town. You know, you're from a small town if. Well, you know you're not from a small town if you think you're going to leave and go to the bathroom and need a stamp or a ticket to get back in. You know you're from a small town if you can come in and say, my sister's coming, and here's her ticket too. And the person taking the ticket, me, knows exactly who she is. But the Square, our theater is made up by volunteers completely. In fact, volunteers made up make up the cast, they make up the committee, they remade a scene or background so that Ella could come in and out and not be seen. They didn't use a lot of props and stuff, but you didn't need a lot of props and stuff. You know, we could use our imaginations just fine. During this summer, we have one big production. There's a children's production. There is, sometimes there's specials. Like not too long ago, they had a women's fashion show that showed all different styles throughout the years. I had mentioned quite a while back that I had found one of the dresses that Greg's mom had made from the 60s. And so I took those in and I gave them to one of the ladies there who was working in the back. And I said, I don't know if you even want to mess with this tonight or if you want to mess with it another day, but you're not going to be able to use it sitting at my house. I taught with her forever. And she goes, oh, yeah, thank you. And she put it in her car. Said, you know, she goes, I'll take it in later. Then in the winter, every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they show movies. Sometimes we get real recent movies and sometimes we don't. It kind of depends on things, you know. You can imagine what it depends on, you know, what's going on that weekend. If it's, say, prom week, they're not going to show a movie. If it's deer season, they're going to show a movie that probably little girls are going to like. you know, some of that kind of stuff. If it's Christmas, they're going to charge you canned goods and show a matinee, and then parents can go shop and leave their kids. So, you know, it's just kind of that type of a place. So anyway, that was fun. I enjoyed, and I got to see a lot of people working the gathering tickets I don't normally see. One of the friend of mine, she goes, we're going to go out and smoke pot. And I said, oh, really? Smoke some for me? She said, I wouldn't have said that to everybody, but I knew you could enjoy it. And you would know that we're really not. So, yeah. I have this cute little jar that prickly pear marmalade came in. Somebody gave us. And yesterday, we're done with that part right now. I was watching, Allison got a Happy Mail, AJ's Inspired Life. I'll put her down below. And in her Happy Mail, somebody had taken circles and stamped on them. Well, I have this jar of punched flowers, circles, and that kind of stuff. So I thought, oh, cool, I could do that. Well, here's one I just got out of a picture. And then I did a star, be bold, a sun, another sun, flowers, hearts, bees, love. I just took a few of my little bitty stamps like her Happy Mail was, and stamped on them. Now this one didn't work too well. I may have to put a sticker or something on top of that. But I thought those turned out real cute, and I might use them this month. Well, I believe the top of this is going to be too small. So I do have, hold on. I have a drawer of paper clips. But if you remember, I got all those paper clips from the consignment store. So I just put them in here. So I had them up here because most of the time I have something sitting on this little pull-out shelf. So we'll put the paper clips in there, and I can put these in here because if for a while I don't have them out, the butterfly in me won't use them. Now I also have where I punched out a cover to, I think it's Jane Davenport paper. I love that bird. I filled up the bird feeder today. I'm going to put that on there. So I thought those were kind of fun. And I'll put one of these. It rained last night, which was so nice. Oh, here's some more. And now the sun's shining, so I don't have to water my flowers. So I'm going to put those there. And then I can use these for what I did today. I don't think we're going to the pool. Emerson hasn't told me yet. So let's put these in. I did not sleep worth anything last night. I've gotten poison, I think. And I better put goat fence finished. And it looks like it could rain again. And then I'm going to put down Great Groceries, Kayville, fill bird feeders. I filled one hummingbird feeder before we left last night. It was empty. I'd made this stuff when I got home from the hospital, and I need to put, see how I'm thinking of this? Emerson got her shot. I need to put something down for her shot. She went back by herself. She's so used to allergy shots, it doesn't faze her. But that was another thing that we did. I'm going to put Emerson allergy shot. There. And so we've got this. Greg's in town. Rained last night. Looks like it could rain again. Cloudy. So I could put a cloud in here and color it. I could put a rainy day. It's very windy. And I'll probably not do this page online since I'm kind of walking you through what is going on. Greg asked me if I was going anywhere, and I said no, and he says, I think I'll take your car. I said, you go right for it. I said, if we decide to go to the pool, we'll go in the pickup truck. I don't really prefer the pickup truck, but let's just get these things out. But I don't mind it. I just prefer the car. Yeah, that might be kind of appropriate where it's cloudy and it rained. It's supposed to rain all weekend, and I'm hoping it does. My flowers need it. Things just don't bloom grow as well with my watering as it does with a good soak of rain. I'll have to look. I'll put the sun there just in case. I'll have to look if it's really supposed to rain more today. I'd go for a walk, but I have a sore fourth toe. I finally had Greg looked at it, and he said it looked like I had a blister and a busted and got a little infected. Greg went to Kirksville, and he said that I needed some antibiotic cream on it. So he put some Iodex on it and a Band-Aid, and that really helped. So hopefully, between that and maybe having poison. Okay, now let's look at chores for groceries. There's some groceries. Grocery run. That's what we do. We do a grocery run. I'm not vacuuming. I did a load of towels, but that really, you can't call. That's going to be it. It's definitely not a cleaning day. The weather's affecting my fibro. I've had 2 weeks of good days. I feel so blessed. So, I'm not going to complain about a bad day. I can't even say I'm tired from working too much yesterday because I did a lot of sitting. And then we'll be to the 6th already, and I don't have anything on for tomorrow. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. I'm really hoping more rain. Somebody around is having a picnic. I'm sorry. But that is my journal for now. I'm going to work on this offline. I've already done my gratitude journal. So I hope you have a very, very blessed day. I hope you get to do something you want to do. And as always, I hope you remember you. Bye for now.